How's it going, everybody? It is a dark and gloomy day. A little bit rainy. Actually, it's kind of more snowy now that I'm looking at it. Which is weird because this has been the weirdest year of my entire life. I mean, like this winter alone has been mid 70s to mid 80s pretty much the whole time. Which is weird for Utah because in Utah, I've always been used to having lots and lots and lots of snow. More on this guy in just a second, I promise. Having a day like this is super weird because it throws you off because you've been like motivated and now suddenly it gets dark. And the motivation's gone. You don't really feel like doing a whole lot at all. But as I'm kind of on the topic, or over the past couple weeks, as I've been on the topic of just overall the blanket idea of positivity, me talking about gratitude and the importance of that, then talking about hope, and then of course talking about positivity just as a whole, I kind of want to continue on and just say that this is the perfect time to talk about positivity once again. But this time, a little bit different. Bruce, come up. Yeah. Say what you gotta say, bruh. Oh, you stink. Now, if you haven't picked up on the topic of today's vlog, this topic is about essentially just avoiding or removing negativity. And I really do feel like the ultimate tool for negativity is social media. And so I am quitting social media once again today. And here's why. Just 2 years ago, I had just started my YouTube channel. I was a single guy, didn't really know what I wanted from life or what was going to happen, or at least I did kind of have an idea of what I wanted, but I wasn't really sure how I was going to do it. I just started a YouTube channel and I had not seen any progress. And so one day, out of respect for last video's topic, hope came into my life and I decided to take a major risk. And that was to remove social media. I'd kind of noticed that social media had been holding me back. It had been keeping me distracted. It was the Instagram Reels, the TikToks, the YouTube Shorts, all of these different things. And I wasn't getting anything done, and nor did I feel satisfied with anything in my life. Now, little did I know that quitting social media would be a major hinge point in my life and overall in my ultimate success so far. I don't know if I'd call it success yet, but my ultimate progress with YouTube. I promise I will be explaining. I promise. You see, not even a year into me quitting social media, which originally I was only planning on 3 months without social media. I had developed in the first 3 months 3,000 subscribers. There was a whole month where I was gaining almost 100 subscribers a day, which was something I had never even imagined. The feeling was something I had never even felt. But here it was, as clear as day. My life was absolutely shifting, which again, I attribute to my sacrifice, which was quitting social media. Which wasn't the only thing. I also quit playing video game for what I originally planned was 3 months. I quit procrastinating. I quit making excuses. And what was originally a plan to eliminate distraction ended up only doing one thing right, and that was removing negativity, which is the distraction. So I quit social media and I quit video games. And I ended up doing this for an entire year. And by the end of that year, because I was so focused on business and relationships, I met a girl and then we got married. And a year later, here I am, and we're preparing for a baby to be born in September. I'm just saying it right now, social media is destroying your progress and it is holding you back. Quit social media. And that's why I'm doing it again. The only reason I even re-downloaded it was because I felt I needed to post to build my YouTube channel, which I learned you don't need it. Now, really quick, let me explain this guy. Oh, let's come over here real quick. Oh, whoa, bro. Yeah, go boy, go boy, go boy. So I mentioned that I was gonna have some major news. My wife graduated from hair school last week, and then my sister sent me this ad for an American Bulldog. It got me thinking, and this is gonna make me sound terrible, but got me thinking, the dog we currently had was not good with kids. He was biting, and I kind of had to make a decision right then and there. Am I really gonna take the risk with this dog, with our baby? I don't know. It was really one of the hardest things probably could have done, but he went to probably the best owner he probably could have gone to. And so I actually feel okay with it. And now here we are with Bruce. So say what you want to say, but I felt bad then, and now I feel a confirmation that it was the right thing to do. Part of growing up is making some serious sacrifices. Also, if you guys are enjoying the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I post a vlog like this every single Saturday, and I always make sure to have some messages that hit home for you. So don't forget. Back to the video. This is my everything journal. And in this journal, I wrote down 3 things that I feel are essentially promised blessings for quitting social media. Things that are guaranteed to happen if you quit social media. Now, these are based off of my experience. The last time I did this, it gets me excited, and I hope this inspires you guys too. But in case you guys are wondering about my everything journal, this is basically a book where I write down all of my thoughts, feelings, ideas, opinions, things that I'm learning about in hopes that I can connect to God and myself, and that I have a record for, say, for my future daughter who's coming this September. I highly recommend that if you guys are going to be quitting social media, that you guys go and pick one of these up. It's super powerful. The number 1 promised blessing that I could think of was the reclaimed focus and productivity. I wrote that by removing this infinite scroll, you stop leaking your mental energy. You can now sit down and work. Obviously, that is like the first thing. It's like the number 1 reason why I quit social media was so that I could just sit down and work. I could actually focus. And that had been something very, very difficult for me for a very long time. Number 2, death of anxiety and comparison. Now, this is obviously huge. Again, this is kind of removing negativity from our life. And if you guys pay attention, you'll notice that all 3 of these promises are basically promises for removing negativity. So just think on that. With this one on number 2, I wrote, you stop measuring your behind the scenes against everyone else's highlight reel, and you finally feel content with your own reality instead of being miserable over someone else's curated life. Number 3, clearer vision and connection. This is maybe one of my favorite things, one that I made a lot of videos about and on, and something I completely did not expect. When you silence the digital noise, you actually hear your own thoughts, and more importantly, you can hear God. It creates the mental space needed to connect deeply with people right in front of you and creates presence. I kind of felt that the best comparison was when you quit social media, it's like replacing fast food for the real thing. I mean, that's really what social media is about. It's about watching other people's lives. And when you think about it, I mean, do you really want to watch other people succeed at their dreams and their goals and their visions while yours sit idly by and wither away and die? I don't know, that just sounds terrible to me. And so I wrote that down, and hopefully you guys were able to pick up some ideas or concepts, or even just the motivation for yourselves to quit, as I'm sure you guys are thinking a lot about that. I do remember being really connected to my friends and people, and I just feel I remember feeling extremely confident. Like I'd be at a restaurant and I was completely fine just reaching out to random individuals and making friends right off the cuff, and it just added a lot of value to my life. And that's one thing I am very excited about, is quitting social media is really going to bring my life back to life. I'm sick of being asleep in my own reality, and I don't want that to be the life that I live by. I don't want to have my daughter ask me one day about my life and how I spent my 20s or whatever, or ask for some fun, cool stories, or asking for the lore, right? And I can't even give her that because I wasted so much of my time. I don't want to be like that, and I know that many of us feel the same way. Anyways, just my thoughts. Let's read some comments. LB Number said, fire, bro. Clone Soul said, this video is the kind of content I've been trying to make. Thank you for sharing. Super impactful and inspiring. Thank you. I appreciate that, Clone Soul. Let me check your channel out. Oh, dude's low-key kind of fire. Very cool. Thank you, Nikki D, Clone Soul. Ethan Clark said, he gave me one of these emojis. I've always had the hardest time understanding what that means. Is it like, hey, like pass? Or is it like high five? I don't know. If you guys know what that emoji means, let me know in the comments down below. I know it's like something good, but I've never been sure. But thanks, Ethan Clark. Anonymous dude. It feels like shame is the most dominant emotion in my life. I don't even know what I am ashamed of, but I feel it so often. When I'm grocery shopping and I see familiar people, when I'm the center of attention, etc. I have been spending about 8 hours a day on YouTube for the past 10 years to distract myself from whatever I don't want to feel. I'm trying to work on this by bringing up situations that trigger shame in my mind and being with the emotion without trying to change it. This is super difficult. In a lot of ways, there are a couple people I know of from my childhood that if I were to see them in public, and a couple times I have seen them, and they didn't know I saw them. This sounds really weird. And I felt really guilty for no reason. I'm not really sure exactly why. I think it's just the fact that sometimes maybe you feel like you left them behind, or that maybe that you're losing out on them for whatever reason. Maybe you left them. For me, I had to leave some friends behind because I know that being with them triggered, sadly, addiction in my life, and I know that if I were to go back to those same people, the same feelings would come back, and that's extremely difficult. I don't think that bringing up these situations that trigger shame in your mind are good, because we know that God teaches us that He gives us not the fear, He gives us not the feeling of fear or contention. He doesn't give us these feelings of shame or guilt. God never gives us those things. Those are simply added upon when we haven't confronted something with the Lord, when we haven't resolved the situation with God. And the best way you would do that is by taking the time to understand who you are, not what you've done wrong, but who you are trying to become and who God wants you to become. Why was that hardship important? I think that's when I've experienced some crazy miracles in my life, when I stopped allowing myself to, or stopped seeking after those feelings, but rather I started seeking after improvement. And I would do that through my journal, my everything journal, and I would do that probably through some silence, some quiet time, staying away from those, from people in general, just for a little bit. Now, I'm not saying do that all the time, because we need people and we need the interaction desperately, but it's not a bad thing to take a fast from things of the world and people sometimes, just for a little bit, so you can get to know yourself a little bit better, because I think we've deprived ourselves of self-connection. I believe that it's 100% necessary. If we want to know who God is, we have to first come to know who we are and what He wants for us. I don't know. I hope that's helpful, but thank you for the comment, Anonymous Dude 4501. I appreciate you, and please comment if you have any other questions. And that goes for the rest of you guys. If you guys are confused, if you guys are struggling with anything in life, just leave a comment and I can address it. Unless you're like, hey, don't post this, you can send that to me as well. But otherwise, I would love to confront this and turn this into a discussion, because I'm sure you guys know that a lot of other people are probably going through the same exact thing that you are. So I appreciate you guys and your vulnerability. I love you guys. If you guys want to leave a comment and you want to be shouted out, feel free. I love to engage with the community, and I want you guys to see that this is a real thing. So regardless, I think I've come to the end of this video. I don't really have much more to say. I think the message is pretty clear in and of itself. When we quit social media, I think we get to see what God actually wants for us. I think things actually start to happen. And that's one thing I think I want you guys to get from this video. If there's anything I'm trying to get you guys to get from this video, is that things do happen. Our lives don't have to be so empty. We just have to get our minds acclimated to not always having something playing. I hope that you guys found exactly what you needed here in this video. If you didn't, though, obviously leave a comment and I will be there and we will work this out together. But without further ado, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss a single one of my videos. Every single one of these coming out every single Saturday. All these vlogs, they're going to be pretty dang good, and they're catered to you, believe it or not. As for the other 3 videos that come out each week, those are also pretty awesome, so feel free to go check those out. And if the comment's good enough, I will probably respond to that on those as well. But more likely if you comment on the vlogs. So comment, and I'll see you guys next week. Love you. Bye.